Everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica and our side series, Light Gun Lounge. And today we're taking a look at my favorite Light Gun series of all time, Point Blank, specifically Point Blank 2. Playing the Japanese PlayStation 1 version, so it's known as Gun Barrel, and you can definitely buy these in their Japanese import versions much cheaper than you can in the US region. Unfortunately, my Japanese PlayStation 1 decided it wasn't going to be playing the soundtrack of the game. It refused to load any audio on this game and a few others, so I think I need to change the laser mech on that. So I've added in some audio. It might not be perfectly matching, but you'll get the idea. So Point Blank, basically, if you ever played the WarioWare series, this is like the light gun equivalent to that. It's basically just an arcade shooting gallery, but it's got this crazy sense of humor. You have Dr. Dan and Dr. Don, these two anthropologists that go through the game and basically just get themselves into wacky situations. You'll see right here, we're going to have to protect Dr. Dan from these UFOs trying to abduct him. So each stage has its own unique kind of play mechanic. Some stages you just have to get score attack, some you have to protect Dr. Dan or Dr. Don, and there's hard stages where you maybe have one bullet to be able to hit the target and achieve what you're trying to do. The game is fast-paced, it moves super quickly, an entire playthrough will last you about 20 minutes, but the replayability on something like this seems almost infinite because there's so many different options, there's so many different stages, and with 3 games across the entire series, there is a ton of content for you to play. I apologize, it's once again a composite capture because for some reason my GunCon refuses to work on my PlayStation 2 with a component cable. I do have an import Japanese PlayStation 2 that I could have used for this, but I wasn't able to get the gun working, so I figured it was more fun to show you a composite capture with the gun versus the component using a controller, because this is definitely a game that you do not want to use a controller for. You want to use the original light gun. You'll see right there we hit a couple of the wrong targets and the game does trick you into trying to hit the wrong thing to take lives away. There'll be stages where if you hit a bomb or if you hit the wrong color, you're going to take a life deduction, and that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, it's an arcade game. These all came out from Namco in arcades, so you can definitely get the original arcade PCB, but I definitely wouldn't recommend that. The PlayStation 1 versions are great, and if you have a Japanese PlayStation 2, there is the Gun Bullet Collection. It's all 3 of the original Point Blank games, plus Time Crisis, and it works on the GunCon 1 or 2, so that's a really fun and easy way to get all of these games at once and be able to play them. Granted, I have all the original PlayStation 1s because I like those games, and I had all 3 of these. Recently, actually, I think I sold my Point Blank collection maybe 7 or 8 years ago because I finally got rid of my old Sony Wega CRT, but in the last couple of years I've gotten a few PVMs, so I'm able to play light gun games again, and these are the first things I picked up because I definitely regretted having sold them all. So you see here, just hit the red targets, don't hit Dr. Dan, don't hit the bombs, and you won't take any life deductions. So it's a pretty easy situation. I mean, I hit a bomb right there, so I'm going to lose a life, but the game gives you the overall rules before you start playing that particular round, and even though it's in Japanese, visually you'll know exactly what you're trying to do, so it makes it really easy to play the game in its import version. And you'll see right here, we're going to go to this ninja stage. Ninjas features heavily in this game, and all you need to do is make sure you shoot all the ninja targets, or at least 25, without hitting any of the innocent geisha women there. Soundtrack-wise, the game is super fun. Graphically, it's totally sprite-based and it has a very unique look to it. You're shooting these cardboard targets here, so the game has an infinite amount of charm, and that's kind of why I've always loved it. Not only is the gameplay really fun, addicting, and infinitely replayable, but graphically, it's got a lot of different things going on. The soundtrack's great as well, so all in all, it's a really fun series that you can play. There was a version released for the Nintendo DS where you tap the targets, and I've been trying to find that in the wild forever. On eBay it's kind of expensive, but I've been hoping just to come across it, but unfortunately not yet. In this stage here, the entire goal is just keep the can from going to the bottom of the screen, and there are physics. Depending on where you hit the can, it's going to change different directions. I don't think they're real-time physics, I think they're just baked in, but you will see here that I'm doing great, and then you miss one shot, and that can is completely gone. So I failed at the very last second, and that's kind of the fun thing about this game, is that it gives you enough challenge that you know you can beat each stage, but it gets frustrating enough to where you just kind of fail now and then due to no fault of your own. A bomb gets in the way, it kind of tricks you. You'll see how these mice here are going to run behind the bombs, so you can either take a risky shot and try to hit them in the head, or you can wait for them to come out into the open. But I will say, just like in Time Crisis, the GunCon is the most accurate light gun you can get compared to other light guns that I've used for the series. What you point at is what you hit. If you calibrate the gun correctly and your gun is working perfectly fine, then the accuracy is just dead on the money. It's the most impressive gun that you can get. So definitely get a good gun con. They can be a little expensive, but they run for a lot of games, so it's definitely something worth picking up. And you'll see here this stage is just release the trigger as quickly as possible. Although they do hide one hostage in the back of the stage. I do miss her. I was lucky there because I kind of forgot she was back there. But each stage just has something completely different going on. And then you hit these hard stages right here, which are basically going to be twice as hard as all the other ones. We need to hit so many skeletons without hitting any bombs. And the bombs are flying everywhere. The skeletons pop up quickly. They go away. These are the challenging stages. And you can play an entire arcade playthrough of just the hard stages. It gives you a lot of versatility in how you want to play. And with the PlayStation 1 ports, there's a lot of different modes added in. There's an RPG mode, there's a challenge tower, there's versus modes. So compared to the arcade versions, they really did a lot to add to this game, and that's why I absolutely love it. And on the last stage here, all you need to do is hit targets on the castle. I have never hit them all. You have 5 seconds. I don't even know if it's possible to hit them all. I'll have to check playthroughs on YouTube. I've never seen anyone be able to hit all of them. I missed 6. And if I had shot a little better, I may have gotten 2 or 3 more, but I've never, I think 2 is the least I've left behind before, but it can be really difficult. Short of that, highly recommend this game. Go out, pick it up. Trust me, you're going to have absolute fun with it. Thanks so much for watching. If you do us a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe. Definitely helps us out. We'll be back on Tuesday, another entry in our mainline series, but you guys have a great weekend, and I hope you enjoy Point Blank. Bye-bye.